What's up, Sean?
What's up, Michael? Happy
Good
Friday.
to see you. Happy Friday. So recording this today on June 4th at 3:57. We'll just say 4 o'clock. Okay, so today I thought I'd try something a little bit different. I want to do a quick t-shirt review.
Cool.
So I know earlier this week I asked you to bring your favorite t-shirt.
Yep.
And I brought a couple t-shirts of my own. I like to compare like our ideal t-shirts, like our dream t-shirts, with the current t-shirts that we're like currently doing a lot of production for. So our label that we're bringing this t-shirt in right now is MBX. It's MBX. So we're doing this on this brand, but I think starting from next year, I'm going to move this entire t-shirt program over to MB Essentials.
Okay.
So the label might change, but for the most part, the design and the fabrication is going to be pretty much the same for this, okay?
Sweet.
So what I want to do is I want to analyze fabric quality here, general fit, and just kind of cover some basic ground rules for t-shirts. So that way, whenever you're going out to look for a t-shirt yourself, you know what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. Because there's like a lot of like mythology and about like what determines what a good t-shirt and what a bad t-shirt is. I just kind of want to break through all that bullshit today and basically talk about what can be controlled and what can't be controlled. Because I know I've been on a couple rants with you and Jeff both about this, where I always say good quality is kind of a myth. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think good quality is a myth, but I do think people look at the wrong things when they talk about quality in general, okay? So let's start with this t-shirt, okay?
Cool.
So I want to talk about a couple features for this t-shirt. For one thing, we do a pocket tee because we got to make it fashionable and different somehow. And I feel like with t-shirts, the more you do with it, the less sellable it gets. Mm-hmm. So I figure like a pocket is a good addition. It's functional, people understand it. At the same time, you could dress it up. Like for us right now, we're putting like a denim rivet on this guy just to like make it look more expensive than it actually is. But
sure.
But actually, like the name of the game for t-shirts is pretty much fabric, mm-hmm. Okay? The biggest indicator of fabric basically is the yarn type and the weight of the fabric, okay? So right now we use a really, really beefy fabric.
How many GSMs is this?
You know GSM. GSM stands for weight. GSM stands for grams per square meter. Mm-hmm. This is 220 GSM. Okay. So it's pretty beefy, it's pretty heavy. Mm-hmm. For the Americans out there, this is about 6 ounces per meter. 6.2 if you want to be like super duper like specific with it. I know this because like I actually designed this myself, like A to Z. But so I mean it's a nice beefy fabric. I prefer keeping it beefy because I mean the pocket does it too, but like if you go super duper light, unless you're doing a bunch of prints on it mm-hmm. or something, it starts looking like an undershirt after a while. So the beefiness is just to let people know, oh yeah, no, you're supposed to just wear this out. And second off, I'm using ring spun yarn for this. There's like 5-6 different yarns out there, to be honest with you, but the two biggest ones that people need to know is either ring spun combed cotton or open end carded cotton. Now, at the start, you know what? I actually skipped a step. Before I want to show this, I wanted to ask you, I asked you to bring a t-shirt, your favorite t-shirt. What t-shirt did you bring?
Brought my Buck Mason black t-shirt.
All right,
this is the Field Spec.
What's it called? The
Field Spec cotton tee. I mean, this is beefy. This is.
All right, dope.
Feel that compare. I mean, it's.
Oh my God, you motherfucker! I'm glad you brought this. Actually, this will be great. That's actually super different. I really like this. Okay, cool. So I brought 2 t-shirts. I brought a Kirkland Costco t-shirt. This costs like $2.50. Mm-hmm. They sell packs of these, packs of I think it was 6 or 8. They sell it in a pack.
For like 15,
Kirkland brand.
$15?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's like $210 to $250 per t-shirt here. The reason why I brought this t-shirt is because Costco, when people really talk quality for anything, Costco's the way to go. Costco has zero fashion, and I'm going to really break down this t-shirt once we get to it. But yeah, like I mean, Costco is like, I just generally like Costco. I feel like Costco is always like the standard of quality. Mm-hmm. And I'll explain why when we get to it. But I brought a Costco t-shirt that's retailing for like $210. How much did you buy that shit for? You don't remember? Embarrassed to say?
45.
45 bucks. 45 bucks. Okay, cool. I brought a Costco T-shirt that cost $250, and
So you can buy 20 of those for my one.
I brought and I also brought my signature Carhartt K87 T-shirt. I paid $15.99 for this, I think $16.99, something like that. Okay, so when you do a side-by-side comparison, the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because the two most prevalently used yarns for T-shirts are carded open end, or combed ring spun. Okay, this is the difference. Like when you feel like a Carhartt T-shirt, feel this. Yeah. You see how it's like really rough and dry?
It feels like sandpaper almost.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. So this is open end yarn. This is carded cotton yarn. Okay.
Is that kind of the standard?
Okay, so
like Hanes. What would
Hanes does both.
Okay.
So combed cotton is like really, really soft and drapey, and carded cotton feels really dry and rough to the hand like this, okay? First off, I'm gonna say the biggest difference between open end and carded cotton is the hand feel, of course, but the reason why people would prefer something so rough like this versus something so soft like this is one, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Open end yarn is cheaper to use, and number two, is that it traps heat a little bit better.
Okay.
It's more durable. I mean, it's not really more durable, but it sort of is. And the more you wash this, like the softer it gets, and it's a general aesthetic thing, and it also has to do with like the way it lays.
Yeah.
It just gives a more like durable, like worker feel. You know, it's more of a feel thing. And like for me personally, I prefer a rougher, drier hand when I'm wearing stuff. I don't really like it when things are too silky.
So you're not like a Pima cotton fan?
Not really.
Yeah.
And
honestly, I'm not either.
it's not that it's. I don't mind the fact that it's super soft. It's just
It's so light.
no, man. Like you know, sometimes when you sweat a little bit or something like that, it
shows.
feels a little slimy.
Yeah.
This is just dry all the time. It's like a towel almost. It just for me, like I'm not like I don't need super softness in my life. But I want something that just makes like
It's durable.
Yeah, right. I mean, just the same way I like Chucks instead of like those like really really soft like cushiony things.
Yeah.
I like a little like substance. I don't know why. It's not necessary. It's all a preference thing. But yeah, like our T-shirts are not made with carded cotton. It's made with comb cotton because our consumers like super duper soft,
very different.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, what I like my inspiration for this was I wanted something very very durable. But like so that's why I made it really really beefy. But at the same time, I wanted to feel very contemporary. I didn't want it to feel like this is what you wear to the construction site. This is like for all like those for all those posers that wear that fucking Carhartt beanie everywhere, you know, like yeah. So it's like it's supposed to give off a workwear vibe, but it's not really workwear. You know, this is like the workwear you wear to like parties and shit. You know, it's
this would be an everyday tee for me.
Yeah. So like this was like a everyday tee for like the people who like want to dress up in a way that doesn't look like they really dressed up. It's the effortless, you know. Yeah. So that's what this is. Let's look at your butt, Mason. It's my first time seeing it. I will straight up tell you right now that this is not a jersey construction. It might be. No, I don't know if it is or not. This is super fucking beefy though. Let me feel these two things. Like, fuck. Yeah, man. This is a lot heavier than this one. This is
how much in GSM you think that is? Like 280?
Maybe like 260, like 240 to like 280. Let me see right here. Yeah. First off, no, I think. Yeah, man. I think this is a like they didn't use a jersey machine for this. So first off, this isn't even the same thing. Like if you look carefully here. No, they did use a jersey machine. Okay, so they used a jersey machine, but I think right now right now this right here, this is like I believe right now for this one I'm using like a 26 single yarn.
Okay. This
is using maybe like a 20 single. So this right here, this and this are the same thing, but the yarn is a lot thicker. Okay, so it's that's one of the things that like, yeah, that's probably the biggest differentiator between here. It's very heavy. So now I don't want to talk too much shit about Buck Mason, but can you do me a favor? Can you flip that shirt inside out? Let me show you guys this. So if you see here. Couple things that I notice about this guy. It shouldn't make too big of a difference, but I will show you guys this. So right now, the first thing that I notice is they have no collar band. This taping here. So what this does is this kind of reinforces the shoulder seam and the neck seam. You get what I mean? This is like really helpful. It helps keep like the shape of the shoulder very well. Typically, like you see people like cutting costs on t-shirts by just having this neck seam just go from neck to neck over here, and they cut it off here and they just sew the seam on. Okay. Ours, I like keeping it consistent all the way through. It just reinforces it. It helps keep the t-shirt shape a little bit better. If you notice here, they don't have any shoulder seam. No, they could get away with this. There's a possibility that they didn't put the band on this because this fabric is so damn thick. So this fabric is so thick already that if you throw this guy on, it's just gonna get super redundant. I feel like that's what they did here. But I mean, overall though, it's like, I feel like, you know, when you kind of look through here, there isn't like too much like loose trims. I mean, you could definitely tell that these guys use a way better factory than we use. You see, because if you see along the trim lines here, you see all this loose thread and shit? Yes? Yeah. It's no good. Yeah. It's no good. But when you see this guy here, for the most part, it's fairly clean finish. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's not great, but I mean, it's pretty clean. It's pretty damn decent, you know? And if you see over here too, it's actually, you know what? I'm not super happy with this guy either because, as you could see, when you see my the cover stitch here, right? Yep. You could see that they did it along the hemline, but as you can see here, you see how they did a fold over? They're not stitching like fully. You see, like this is where the cut ends. Yeah. Over here, you see that it's kind of bleeding into the cut seam. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? But I mean, overall, it's fine. It's a pretty rock solid garment. I think everything here is pretty good when you look at it. Yeah. So biggest differentiator here, this one doesn't have a band. Got it. Okay. Now let's compare these two to the Carhartt one. So like Carhartt, for the most part, it's very rock solid. There shouldn't be any leftover seams. You see that? They cut and finished this really, really well. I know this because I did Carhartt production for like a minute. Whenever they would come in for a final audit and everything like that, and literally I couldn't sleep the night before because like they check all of this, you know? Carhartt does like a crazy good job with like quality control, so it's like, that's why Carhartt has the name that it does, okay? You see, they have a full shoulder. Wow. So it kind of covers everything. This is how you know like this t-shirt was kind of built to last. Yeah. You know, it's built for durability. Whereas I mean, like, you know, Buck Mason's very much a contemporary fashion line, you know?
Well, I feel like the weightness of this, that's why it doesn't need it, like you said, because it kind of just it takes the form of what how your body is.
It's not a matter of need. It's probably a matter of function because with a heavy fabric like this, you put a neck on it too. The neck is going to be like this thick. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? It's more for like
looks like you're wearing a football pad.
Sort of, yeah. Another thing that I kind of want to call out. This has no function whatsoever. I think this is just like a manufacturer's pride thing. If you see here, both Buck Mason and us, we kind of cheat because Carhartt puts the rib seam right at the center. You see how it's like the center of the label? Yeah. For us, we hide it.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Why do we hide it and why do they?
Because our factories are inconsistent.
Got it.
We can't consistently nail it in the middle every time, but they nail it every time.
Got it. Well, it's probably because they drill it into the heads that we need it right down the middle.
No, it's a pattern trick. I can't show you guys pattern tricks here, but like it's definitely a pattern trick, okay. Like that they do for this. But it's actually pretty cool. Like yeah. But anyways, so like just so you guys know,
it's the first one I've ever noticed.
Shirt. Yeah. So you could kind of look at the details here, right? Now I want to show you guys a 250 Kirkland shirt. First things first. Carhartt tees are 220 GSM. This is 220 GSM. This is heavier. Let's call this like 280. Let's call this 280 because it's so damn beefy, okay? Yeah. So right now, this 5.5 ounce, 175 to 185 GSM, okay? They also use ring spun cotton. You feel this? So now I washed this bitch like 10 times, like 10 plus times. I like look how frayed it is. This is an old ass shirt, okay? Yeah. But as you can see, like this is kind of what like a carded or like a combed cotton, like ring spun cotton. So if you wash this 10 times, it's gonna end up like this. You get what I mean? This I washed also like 10 million times. You could see like, you know, even like the
labeling.
Yeah, like the label's like coming off. It's like super frayed. But like I washed this like 10 million times too, but like carded cotton, once you start washing, it starts kind of feeling about the same.
Yeah.
Okay, like I mean, the more you wash it, the worse things get. Okay. Second thing that you will notice here, all of these shirts that we have here, like this guy, this guy, this guy, Carhartt, Buck Mason, and MBX. All three of these shirts do a full construction t-shirt. Now look at Kirkland. No seam. So what this basically means, a lot of the t-shirts are automated. So what they basically do is they use something called a tubular machine. The reason why they call it a tubular machine is because in order to sew all this together, it's all labor. This is all human labor. For this one here, they literally knit the fabric in the shape of this t-shirt. So then all the workers need to do here, once this is made,
Just add a sleeve.
is just the neck, the shoulder, and the sleeve construction. That's all they really need to do. And also, I mean, they gotta hem it. You get what I mean? But for the most part, this is what they call a tubular machine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a tubular shirt because there's no
no
ends on it.
Right,
It's
right.
literally-
So like that's why they call this like a tubular machine.
Okay.
And so this is kind of a really good way that you know, there's a lot of made in USA t-shirt houses that do this kind of t-shirt. The main reason for this, and literally the only reason for this, is to basically save on cost. It takes a lot more workers to make these t-shirts than it does this one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what? Let me flip this inside out too to kind of see what this is. Because out of all these t-shirts, this is the cheapest one.
Yep.
And you'll kind of see. If you ever want to know if a t-shirt is good quality or not, flip it inside out. Yep. You see all that shit? See it?
Fray on frays.
Fucking messy. You know, it's messy.
Yeah, but people don't see that though.
Yeah, it's messy.
You just feel it when you're wearing it.
No.
What's that itch?
You know, for the most part, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like all of this is all semantics. You can't really tell. Like, cause I mean, at the end of the day too, it's like people always talk about these sewing factories. Oh, this one is RAP certified. This factory is X. This factory is Y. This factory is Z. Has all these features about why this factory is really, really good, right? Bottom line is, it comes down to labor. And guess what? Nobody is paying these sewers anything more than minimum wage. They're not. Like, sewers, factory workers are at the bottom of the totem pole no matter what country you go to. And so like it doesn't really matter, like I mean, unless there's one guy doing it by hand because he's so passionate about sewing t-shirts, all factories are shit
Yeah.
when it comes down to like the sewing and construction part, okay? What determines whether or not a factory is good and consistently produces good quality is consistency. And this is a big thing that I always like drilling in the head of my production managers is basically this, is stop trying to look for the best factory. It's just not out there. The best way to get good quality product is to consistently give them the same designs over and over and over again until their actual workers get used to doing it. Once they get comfortable doing it, they become more efficient. And then once they become more efficient, they start producing better goods. And for me, honestly, like I would say it takes about 2 years.
Okay.
2 years of consistent work, then the factory starts building out their plans, their production line plans based on your orders. And once that starts happening, that's when you start seeing the quality really happen.
Got it.
Okay? So like, I mean, but with regards to this Kirkland t-shirt, this is a pure price point play. You know, like if they're selling this shit to you for $250, how much do you think they're making it for? That's something you gotta be thinking about.
$1.
Maybe.
If.
No, I mean, but like for the most part though, it's like when it comes to like fabric costing or garment costing, there's fabric and there's labor and there's trim. This guy has no trim. This guy has a fucking stamp. This is the only thing that that it is. You know, like I mean, when you buy a Kirkland t-shirt, it doesn't even come with a hang tag. Like you see this guy here. Let's flip these back forward. Let's flip these all right.
That thing's in a pack with 4 other shirts.
Yeah, it's in a pack with like 8 other shirts. Okay, so it's like a plastic wrap. There's no hang tag on this, you know? But like ours, so for us too, this is a pure cost play, right? Like, and I mean, I could honestly tell you, out of all the trim, this is probably the most expensive thing because it's metal.
Yeah.
You know, but then like, look, we have a hang tag. I mean, we print the back logo as well, so it's like, can't really say anything about that. This Buck Mason, I will tell you, they probably spent the most on trim out of all of them here. I'm sure this came with the fucking hang tag, you know, and they have a sewn-on woven label.
Yeah.
I don't like sewn-on woven labels for knits because it scratches.
Yeah, I don't feel it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not talking shit. It's just like, yeah, but that's the reason why I don't do it, because personally, like, it scratches. I'm not a big fan of that myself, so that's why I prefer like printed labels. But I mean, if you,
I hate like Hanes tags. You know, the ones that flip up.
Yeah.
Those are.
Yeah, well, those are meant to be cut.
I rip those
right,
off.
but like, I mean, another thing too, though, is like, if you do like a woven label like this, sure as fuck makes this more expensive. I will tell you that, you know. And then, like, I know, like, for Carhartt,
I guess that's why they justify it, me paying $45 for it, huh?
I'll tell you why that costs $45. I will tell you why, okay, in a second. But Carhartt, you know what, Carhartt trim might be a little bit more expensive because what they got is they got a woven label, they got a printed label, they have a size sticker, they have a hang tag. Like, Carhartt, like, trim, there's like 8 different, like, pieces to this trim that you need to know, okay? So it's like, yeah, so I mean, like, I mean, Carhartt trim is like pretty substantial. Now I'll tell you why Buck Mason is $45, why this is $7.99, why this is $16.99, $15.99, and this is $2.10. It all has to do with volume. Buck Mason, how many T-shirts of these do you think they make?
Well, they only allocate like they only make a certain amount, and then they don't make any more.
Yeah, so
specifically this field spec one, because they put it out and I always get it, and then it's sold out within like a day or two.
Well, they don't make a lot because, and I'll explain why, one is what's their distribution? How do they sell, like where do they sell Buck Mason?
E-commerce.
They only sell online. They only go straight business to consumer, okay?
Or they have them in, you know, they have a couple storefronts, but
yeah, but
four or five.
Yeah, like their distribution is small.
Yeah.
Okay, their distribution is small. Like, and so for them, like the cost of these goods, it all comes down to quantity. Now, like we make this for $7.99, okay, but we're selling to Ross, TJ Maxx, Burlington. I can say those names because it's like, you know, we're not talking shit. It's like,
I was like,
buy our shit at Ross, TJ Maxx, or Burlington. Okay, $7.99. All right, but like. We sell to Bells, you know, we sell to Winners, we sell to these guys, right? Like these guys have thousands of stores, all right? Our distribution for this is wide. I mean, we might be in close to like 6,000 different stores with this t-shirt, okay? Carhartt, fucking institution, man. You know, like they probably move around like 300,000 of these like a fucking month. You know, like Carhartt's been around forever, you know? Everybody knows this. Like everybody knows this has a signature K87 shirt. Their distribution is set. Their distribution is strong, okay? Kirkland, come on, you know how Kirkland goes. You know how Costco goes. You know, they're selling these in packs of 8. Their distribution is crazy too. These guys, how much do you think they sell a month? 600? If they're lucky? If. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the difference. But then at the same time, they're a company, right?
Yeah.
So they need to make their profits too. You know, we might make pennies on a dollar for this. But for them, like they need to make a lot of money for this in order to keep their company running.
Yeah.
Distribution is also very, very important. Okay, so that's one reason why this would be really expensive. Reason number 2: country of origin. Where was this made? Kirkland, these guys. What is this? Made in Honduras. Made in Honduras. This made in Bangladesh. Like MBX, made in Bangladesh. Carhartt, made in Guatemala. Buck Mason, made in China. Made in China. Oh, dude, I just called that shit, bro. I literally just called it. But like, yeah, no, but like.
They say everything is all made in U.S. I guess it's designed in the U.S.
Oh, no, you know what? They may have started made in USA. So like I'll explain it like this way too, is this. If you're gonna go to like Guatemala, if you're gonna go to Honduras, and you're gonna go to Bangladesh to make a t-shirt, there's huge minimum. Because Honduras, Guatemala, and Bangladesh, they're known as manufacturing hubs. So what they're going to have is they have these giant production lines. You know, if you're gonna go to like a giant production line and you wanna get that however many X amount of dollar t-shirts, like let's say you wanna get that 5 cent, it's not 5 cents, I'm just throwing it out there because nobody should know my price. But like, yeah, you wanna make a t-shirt for 5 cents. right? Like, in order to get that 5-cent t-shirt, not everyone could just go in there and walk in and place an order, man.
Yeah.
You walk into those factories with a 1,000 piece order, a 2,000 piece order, they're gonna laugh in your face. They're gonna be like, get out of here, bro. Like, I got like 50 sewers here. You think, I mean, how seriously are they gonna take like a 1,000 piece order?
Yeah.
They don't care if you're Off-White. They don't care if you're Balenciaga. They don't care if you're like Versace. They don't care about any of that stuff. What they're looking for is volume because they need to feed their workers.
Yeah.
You know, their workers need to get paid. So what they're looking for is big volume business, okay?
So what's the minimum, you would say?
Oh, man.
Ballpark.
No, I'll give you the real minimum. Like, per fabrication, 10,000 pieces.
Okay.
Per fabrication. And so like I could do 10,000 pieces of this, and so what I'll do is maybe like 5,000 pieces of black, you know, like 3,000 pieces, you know, and then I'll play around with everything for colors.
Yep.
But for colors too, man, like you want to do about maybe around like 2,000 pieces per color.
Okay.
Minimum. Like, you know, just so like, you know, you're not an asshole about it. But at the same time, like sewing factories though, like they don't really care about any of that because it's all the same shirt. To them, they don't care what color it is. They just match the colors and it's just a sewing line that just goes on and on and on. Whereas like here, the reason why they're going in China is because China, they'll accept a 600 piece order. They will. And I'll be honest with you, China has better quality. They have better workers. You know, like Bangladesh is only the garment manufacturing hub that it is because China decided to invest a lot of money into Bangladesh. You know, when you go to Bangladesh, most of their factories are owned by Chinese and Koreans.
Really?
Like most of it is. Like, I mean, dude, Bangladesh is getting pretty tight. Like the guy who made this is a local guy. So it's my homie Nayan. He makes this, but like it's very rare. Like, I mean, it's getting more popular now. Back in 2012, it was rare, but like nowadays, like more Bangladeshi people are starting up their own like manufacturing hubs and everything like that. But for the most part, even like Bangladesh too, most of their fabric they buy from China. You know, like China is kind of like the manufacturing hub of that. China still makes a vast majority of the fabrics. You know, unless you're in the Central Americas like these two.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, it's like, I mean, it is what it is. You know, but. Like, that's another reason why this is probably expensive. Like, I mean, like let's compare like these two right now. I guarantee you, like they're making this, their price, I guarantee it's around like $5. Like, I'm telling you, Buck Mason, hit me up if I'm right. Probably pay $5. And if you're paying more than $5 for this, you should be, they could probably get this for like $4.50. If it were me,
Well, now I just
I'd
feel
get
like an
$4.50.
idiot paying $45 for it.
No, that's not true. You should support. No, look, honestly, you should support them.
And I do support them. I donate so much of my paycheck to that company.
These guys can't become these guys. Like these guys can't become this without support.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? If they're making product that you believe in, you should definitely support them. It's not even close. You know, you should. I mean, that's a big thing. You know.
It's my favorite fitting shirt, so
yeah, I mean,
I'll pay for it.
We'll get to the fit in a second, okay? We actually will get to the fit in a second because fit is also a very important part about t-shirts, okay? But yeah, so like, I mean, Buck Mason right now, I mean, they're just starting, bro. Like, I mean, like, look, we've been around for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, Kara's been around for 130 years. Kirkland is, well, fucking Costco, man. You know, like it's, I mean, like Kirkland, it's a commodity product at this point. But like, when you really think about it though, it's like, I'm telling you, man, they're paying like $4 or $5 for this t-shirt, right? How much dude, Kirkland's selling this for $2.50.
50 cents.
Right, so you kind of see the disparity here.
For sure.
But then at the same time, you compare the quality. I just showed you the sewing. You know, so I mean, pro tip: if you're really looking for good sewing quality, flip the shirt inside out before you buy it. You could see it. You could literally see it. Like, I mean, like it's. I mean, car quality control people are good, but they're not technicians.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, they're basically trained to like just look to see the care that actually got into the product. Okay. All things considered, man, this was my first time flipping our shirt inside out. Our shit ain't bad.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah, I gotta give Nayan some props. Like, you know what? Honestly, like.
Nayan?
What?
What's his name?
Nayan.
Nayan.
Yeah, but you see that? Oh, you see? Now you're looking at what I'm looking at. You see that shit?
Yeah.
Drives me insane. But you know what? It's $7.99. So whatever, bro. Like, you know what?
I can't wait. I want some of these myself.
You know, this is like literally indicative of how shitty garment manufacturing as an industry is. A Big Mac costs more than this. Jamba Juice costs more than this. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, straight up.
Yeah.
But guess what? If I want to jack the price up to like $15.99, $14.99 for this, none of y'all motherfuckers would buy it. You get what I'm saying? Like, and so like that's kind of why like America's in a really weird place when it comes to like apparel.
Yeah.
It's just like clothing doesn't have the same value anymore. You know, just
There's
in
also
general.
so many different brands and companies that it's oversaturated.
What, food isn't?
Well, food is, but I mean, they're also the brands themselves as well. McDonald's,
but
Wendy's.
you buy
Dunkin'.
this shit, you're gonna wear it for a year, minimum.
Yeah,
Food, it'll last you an hour.
true.
4 hours because you gotta digest this shit and whatever. But you know, like that's what I mean.
True, but it's a necessity to life. Where
What, clothing isn't?
clothing is, but you can walk around naked if you had to.
No, you can't.
I'm
No,
kidding,
you can't.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So like that's just kind of like 101 right now in terms of like how you want to look for like quality when it comes to make. Fabric, you got to get a little bit more, but as a rule of thumb, beefier the better. And then how soft it is, it really depends on your taste label. That's why like not everybody has like super duper soft clothing.